Hi, Cancer. I'm Oscar. Welcome to Cosmic Brew Tarot. We're going to be doing today a home family spread for the holidays. I figured with the holidays coming up, this is probably important stuff that we would want to touch on. The holidays have a way of putting us in contact with people that we didn't really want to be in contact with, or want to just slow and so it's it can be a challenging time sometimes. And as a result, these are very important things to discuss, right? Let's move away from other bigger topics, right? Let's focus on this is supposed to be our support system and our place to feel like ourselves. And so let's go ahead and talk about it, right? So I'm going to be doing a combination today of the Spellcaster's Oracle with the Game of Thrones Tarot. I'm repping my Lannister shirt today for it. They're a very family first kind of house, so I felt that was appropriate. Typically, I wouldn't use property tarot like game and movies and TV shows that are made into tarot decks, but this one really spoke to me, especially for a home and family reading. I felt like sometimes family dynamics can, especially when you're dealing with multiple families, right, that are coming together for the holidays, it can feel like a Game of Thrones episode, minus the murder and the incest and stuff. But nevertheless, it's very powerful imagery in here. I absolutely love this deck. I think it's so well made anyway, and so I felt the need to go ahead and just use it for this. So the custom spread is going to be the energies that are supporting you at this time, difficult energies to deal with, how to balance the two into harmony, what to be thankful for, how to best show your goodwill. And then at the very end, we're going to pull the star, that little star at the top of this non-denominational tree spread that I have. The final piece of advice, and I'm going to pull that from the Cosmic Journey Oracle, which I am just absolutely in love with. And it's a great way to kind of just set us off with whatever the new intention is from this spread. So with that, let's begin shuffling for Cancer. All right. Also, reminder. Oh, I got a card already jumping out. Hold on. I'm going to set this aside right now. I'll look at it in a second. As a reminder, this is a general reading, which means that not everything is going to fit you exactly as I say, and that is okay. This is a great time for you to use and train your intuition and your discernment to figure out what fits, what doesn't, and what maybe needs to be adapted to better suit you, and maybe things that are just like not quite that, but this, but don't force anything to fit. Otherwise, you're just taking on energy that is not yours, that you do not need. I'm sure you are dealing with plenty without want. I don't feel like you need to take on more energies than you need. Don't do that. It's bad. Similarly, if this is something that's cycles of the past, right, that you've already kind of like one and done with, the cycle is over, you've closed these out, this might be an opportunity for you to just reflect on that time, and maybe that gives you, and what you've learned, like from the learnings and the outcomes of those closed cycles, maybe they give you some understanding of what to do in your current situation. All right, so let's begin. We had a mystery card. It was face down. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to take this as an overall energy for this reading. In addition to home and family, I have the King of Swords, King of Spears, in reverse. Not a great energy to have around, but definitely let's talk about it. So the King of Spears would represent someone who, upright, it would represent someone who is very smart and intellectual, truthful, cuts to the chase is I don't want to say righteous, but along those lines. They're a fair person, and it's like they have that ability to just see the truth in any situation and just cut the bullshit and let's talk. Let's just go ahead and say it like it is. In reverse, we're talking about someone that might be using that ability for negative purposes. Manipulation would be one. Could also be just the energy that I'm getting from this is someone who thinks they know more than they actually do, utilizing their authority to make what they want be the truth. Like they're forcing the narrative to fit their construct, their truth, and their story. And it doesn't necessarily have to come from a bad or evil manipulative place, but it could just come from a wish to preserve what they know to be true or what they have known to be true, and instead, wow, I'm getting so much from that. The preservation of what they have known to be true, but with life's changes, with people evolving and moving out and moving in and whatever's the ebbs and flows of life, basically, have probably reached a point where now their version of the truth is not recognizable anymore, and it needs to fit their paradigm better. And I'm not sure if this is someone outside of you or if this is you. Like if this is an overall energy that's something that's affecting the family or people within your family, it's affecting you in some way. So let's dive in and see, shall we? So energies that are supporting Cancer at this time, please. We have Justice. Interesting, because I was talking about fairness and all that. Yeah. I'm going to draw off the top card, actually. I'm going to draw the top card of the deck. Six of Cups in reverse. I'm feeling guided to just shuffle. I was like 50-50. I'm like, draw the top card, but also shuffle. And the Hermit. Okay. You know, it's interesting. The energies that are supporting you are your sense of right and wrong. Letting go of the past, moving on, looking for your own sense of self is something I'm getting here. There's kind of this detachment that you've done or have had to do or feel like you need to do. That energy is supported. It's like you did the right thing by moving on, or you're doing the right thing by moving on, because this is kind of like the past is the past, and now I have to figure out what's next. I have to do what's right for me. And at the end of the day, I'm sorry if if you feel the need to have someone no longer be a part of your journey in the way that you thought they would, but you know that it's the correct thing to do. So it's really about trusting yourself and about what needs to stay in the past, and knowing that even if you have to put it all in the past, literally everything, you are strong enough and correct enough to move forward on your own should you need to. But this might also just be situation, right? I don't know if it's necessarily that you have to move past a specific person. It could literally just be a situation that you're like, you know what, this is finally just like, it's run its course, I'm done, and I think I understand why I don't want to be a part of this anymore, why this is my past, and I'm now, it's a very future oriented, forward walking, and wise energy that you're embodying. And if you are, and rather, this is the energy that I feel is one that you should embody. It is one that is going to support you throughout this time. Okay. So, difficult energies to deal with. Difficult energies to deal with. Let me start with the Spellcaster Oracle. Difficult energies that Cancer is dealing with, please. We've got reconciliation with, let's get a tarot card, support this one. Oh, I've got two cards flipping out here. The Knight of Cups and the Five of Swords in reverse. The Five of Swords in reverse is the reconciliation card. So definitely, okay. With this Knight of Cups in the middle, I'm really getting this feeling that someone is trying to pluck some heartstrings, trying to put like a nice air on what was probably a really crappy situation. It's like, no, this doesn't, this, like, I understand that you want to reconcile, and that's great, but we're not acknowledging the hurt that has been caused. You don't get to go ahead and try and, I'm not even getting sweep under the rug. It's more just like, show up again, pretending that what happened wasn't a big deal, and can be put in the past just on the virtue of them showing up in a nicer place, in a nicer way. That alone is a challenging energy, right? Because it's like, okay, you know, it's like when those stories when people show up and they're just like, but I've changed. I know that I've caused a lot of hurt, but I've changed. I'm a different person now. And it's hard to believe them. It actually ends up kind of being something that then gets thrown back at you, right? It's like, oh, well, I'm a different person now, so why aren't you over the hurt that I've caused? Well, let's talk about that. Let's unpack that, shall we? It's like it doesn't get to be thrown back at you and you have to solve it. I do think that it's just something that needs to be worked out. You might have something that you need to work out, and it's a challenging energy for you. I mean, you've clearly moved away from something that is being matched by a need to reconcile. I don't know if you have moved away from it, or like currently you're in this like, do I stay, do I go energy. I don't think it's a stay or, actually no. You're dealing with an energy that might, like, this might be happening simultaneously. This feeling of, I am good on my own. I don't need to give this any further thought. This is like dead and buried, right? Like, I thought I dead and buried it, but then it just kind of comes back over here and it's like back in your face, shining a light on everything. And you're just like, stop. No, I already squared this circle. Why are you trying to come back at me and fix this? that said, the fact that there's reconciliation on either side of this Knight of Cups, right? So basically, if you have reconciliation, Knight of Cups, and then the Five Swords, there's another reconciliation card. It says to me, like, the fact that someone has come forward to try and reconcile the past is a start. But I think there does need to be a recognition of why something was a bigger deal than they think, right? Because in order to reconcile, one must acknowledge what happened. That has to be acknowledged. So, and that alone might be its own difficulty, right? Having to acknowledge what you thought you had already moved on from, what you had already kind of just like put the kibosh on, or what you're healing from even currently, because I can see that this energy, the Justice, Six of Cups, Hermit, is still, it could be an ongoing detachment that you have that now all of a sudden wants, you'll know your situation. Every family dynamic is different, right, Cancer? So, but either way, you have one energy, the supporting energy of, I'm good, I already like moved past this. And then a reconciling energy is the difficult energy. In other words, someone that's trying to make things better with you. One would think that if you have truly moved on, then it should be easy to reconcile with an energy that says, hey, I'm here, can we make this right? One would think that would be easy to do. It's kind of like okay, you've moved on, I've moved on, let's start fresh. But if you're still if it's still a difficult energy to do, then that means that you are still holding on to some painful truth or outcome or negative feeling towards this person or situation that is still actually affecting you from being able to reconcile with them in the first place. So, how do you balance this into harmony? Answers. Yeah. What I say, talk. Talk, give each other answers, ask questions. Ask questions to get answers. Why did you do this to me? Why'd you do it in this way? What were you thinking? And the Four of Swords in reverse. Yeah. This feels like a long-standing situation. You know, this is much deeper than a little squabble or something, right? This feels like something that has gone on for years. You know, it might be a currently ongoing problem. It might be we thought we had like let sleeping dogs lie. I've said that over and over. But regardless, you know, again, I'm drawn back to the reverse King of Spears that we started with. Of someone that wants the story to suit their narrative. The thing is, the story can't suit their narrative if there's different answers, especially after a long period of no contact or of isolation from each other, distancing. You know, I'm looking at this hermit. It just feels like it feels like something hasn't been earned yet. When I say something, I mean like the peace and reconciliation that is being sought does not feel like it is earned. But again, it is a start. It's an invitation. You know, this Knight of Cups is extending their cup your way. It's an invitation to say, hey, let's talk. Let's try and find harmony. Because at the end of the day, if you walked away from something feeling like there's unfinished business, something didn't quite sit right, now is the time for things to sit right. And reconciliation doesn't necessarily mean that everything's good and we can start fresh, right? There might have been very toxic situations that are like, I'm glad you can come to the table and say, I'm glad that you feel you're a different person. I'm glad you've gotten to this place. I'm glad that you're improving. But the damage has been done, you know, and I hope that you understand that, like, you're going to need to go your way and I'm going to need to go mine. Like, if it needs to come to that point, that is an option. In other cases, it might literally be like, you know, I've never felt quite right with how things turned out. I felt that everything was just, there's blame on both sides. I understand where you're coming from. I see that you understand where I came from, and we both have a desire to move past this. That's wonderful. Where do we go from here? And again, every situation is different. Use your discernment. The advice here is come to the table anyway. Like, make an effort to talk. Make an effort to share. Here's the things that I have come to reflect on, right? That I've come to realize over the time that this struggle and this problem has occurred. You know, I've always wanted to reconcile this, maybe. You know, I'm drawn back to this 5 of Swords in reverse, and then it's funny that the harmony is take a sword back, 4 of Swords in reverse, right? Like, let's just pull a sword from this whole situation, and let's you know, 5 minus 4 would be 1 sword. I'm thinking Ace of Swords, which is like the truth. It is the clarity card. And when with answers, it's like what needs to happen here is like to reconcile. If the invitation is made to reconcile, if you feel the need to be the one to reconcile, I don't think that it's you that needs to do that, but let's say that it's you. Either way, make it inviting. Give the opportunity to just talk clearly without judgment, with just clarity, and be like, you know, the past is in the past, but we clearly need to talk about it and we need to settle it before we can move on to the future, right? So let's help ourselves feel better about all of the hurt and damage that has been caused, right? We can put all of that in perspective. What do we learn from it? What do we take away? Because when you have those kinds of conversations, you can see whether someone actually learned the lesson from all of that you needed them to learn to feel comfortable in trying to trust them again, right? Because they might be reconciling just to, like, again, suit their narrative that, like, they didn't actually cause as much harm as they did, or, you know, you blew things out of proportion, or whatever that they're trying to say. You know, don't let them get away with something that's not fair. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. All right. What should Cancer be thankful for? Prosperity? Okay. Yeah. And the Emperor in reverse. this is a very weird message. It's almost like it's telling you to be thankful for the fact that someone was such a hard ass. I'm getting like the emperor would be a father figure, all right, or somebody who is the authority and structure in your home, right? And in reverse, we're talking about someone that was way too super controlling, right? I'm getting this sense of like, be thankful that there was someone in your life, and maybe it is you, but let's say that there was someone in your life who did all of that hard work, dedication, sometimes to even an extreme, in order to see and ensure that your family and your home thrives, and not just survives, but thrives, right? So there's many situations I can think of where, it's like, oh, someone was always at work and they never really spent a lot of time with me, they neglected me, and etc. And instead it's saying, hey, be thankful for the fact that, people's hard work led to the comfort and stability that you have today, and the prosperity that you have access to today. And maybe even the work ethic that gives you your own prosperity, because, many people have, I'm sure, families that are not actually prosperous, that never met needs. But maybe you came away from that learning what you needed to learn in order to make yourself prosperous, right? If the energy that needs to be reconciled is this energy, this kind of harsh, authoritative energy, and I'm feeling like it very well could be, then show it grace. Show it acknowledgement that, like, I understand why you did everything that you did. I just wish that you had understood and noticed what you were doing, what that was also doing, right? And I wish that had been handled better. But show them some understanding, show them some appreciation, show them some grace. I think that would go a long way. And when I said, if this energy is you, if you're feeling like you're the one that's always had to be putting your foot down, and maybe were in an excessive way controlling, be thankful for the fact that results speak for themselves. This is I'm getting that, oh, that's a slogan for this particular thing. The results speak for themselves. That's what you should be thankful for. The results of the family situation that you are in and the home life that you have built speak for itself. Be thankful for that, because even if you're looking around and you're seeing a total mess, that mess speaks for itself. It's a mess. Be thankful for the fact that you can recognize that very clearly. I'm going back again to this opening part of your spread with the Justice and the Hermit, where I said that, like, trust yourself. Be thankful for the fact that you can look around and see exactly what this is. See exactly why things are the way that they are. Interesting. All right. How can Cancer best show their goodwill at this time? Financial health. Okay. So we got some interesting finance vibes here. And the Fool in reverse. The best way to show goodwill is to pay it forward. Give gifts, but don't be reckless with your spending. Obviously, again, your financial health is great, but you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention to your financial health. Okay? While things might be prosperous in some areas, they might not be prosperous in other areas, and you have to be very careful and mindful of how you spend on gifts and on acts of service and anything like that. Basically anything where you are throwing in energy, especially when it comes to money. Just make sure that you do pay it forward however you can without possibly putting yourself in a precarious situation, right? With the Fool in reverse, I just feel very like let's not be reckless. Let's not get taken advantage of, right? Use your goodwill to do nice gestures that are within your means, even if, interestingly, I'm getting like it's beneath the standard that someone expects. So let me see if I can explain that better. If you have someone in your life who only wears name brand things, they're very bougie, they've made a great life for themselves, and you can only get them a card, a spaghetti and macaroni card, then, but the point is that you put that all together. That is a way for you to share your goodwill that also shares this is where my financial health is at, that I had to do a spaghetti and macaroni card, but I still care for you. I want you to know that I care for you, but obviously I care for myself enough to know that I can't afford a gift of the caliber that you're used to. This reading took like this turn into money, and so now I'm looking at this first situation and I'm wondering, like, was that part of the fallout, like someone who got too big for their britches and now like something is beneath them and then it caused some insults? Yeah, there's definitely some topics here about your relationship with finances, but it comes from a place, because there's no pentacles here. It's swords and it's cups. So emotions and thoughts. It comes from a more holistic place than just the act of being wealthy or being poor. Like, it comes from more of a place of money is a way for me to give back, to show my love, to show my appreciation. And sorry if this was prioritized over actually showing my love and appreciation through other means, like a hug or kind words. Being there for you when you really needed me. I'm sorry I didn't do that. Like, that is, like, I realize now that just making sure that all of the bills were paid and more, like being able to afford a nice toy for you, was not as important as being able to afford the time that you needed to open up to me. I'm channeling this message in such a way where I don't know if it's you or the other person saying it. I don't even know if the other person recognizes that that's what they should say. It just feels like a message that you, Cancer, need to hear to come to the table better. Okay. So final piece of advice, we're going to draw from the Cosmic Journey Oracle. So your shining star. Got a card slid out. 33. You are at the divine Y point. Let's read the message. At each moment in time and space, there is a choice point. It has been called the divine Y by some of the sages. You are now at such a point. Where will you go, left or right? I'm going to hold up this reconciliation card while I read this. Each branch leads to new possibilities and in turn, even more new possibilities. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming until you realize how to navigate with your heart. It's not just a why, but a why. A why. What is your greatest why for where you are headed? Why do you truly want to evolve, exploring your greatest impact and contribution? Your heart is your GPS here, navigating the journey. I'll hold up this hermit again to remind you of that. And the good news is there's no wrong choice. You just keep getting rerouted and rerouted back again by your galactic guides, arriving at the same perfect destination in the stars. So, a journaling prompt for you. What choice point am I facing right now, and what is my greatest why for navigating through it? And an action that you can take, think of 3 past decisions that weighed heavily on you and map out the timelines from then to now. How has the decision served you, helped you, and allowed you to evolve higher? I think that this could be a really, really great start to a much more unified family dynamic with this individual or whoever it is that this reconciliation is about, that you've had to distance yourself from, that I'm getting like you owe things to. You do owe things to them. It's not quite fair to just leave them behind in the dust, but it's also not fair to leave things unacknowledged, basically. So I wish you the best. I'm going to leave the reading there. Thank you so much. If this resonated, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Thank you for being a part of this wondrous cosmic brew. Take care.